Hi Gravitrax fans, I wanted to redo the intro video for Gravisheet. Gravisheet is an online free reference. It's a spreadsheet based in Google Sheets that has a reference of all the Gravitrax sets, and it also has a repository of a lot of app codes that you can load for tracks that you can build, because the Ravensburger Gravitrax app, which is free, with a little surcharge for the Vertical Pro side of it, that will give you build instructions for these tracks. So the instruction sheet gives you an overview. It tells you how to update the sheet right here for future updates. You essentially will download the new version and then copy your data over. Getting started, to make edits, you have to save your own copy using File, Make a Copy. I am not going to give you access rights to the master spreadsheet. So make your edits to a copy. The next, what you do is you enter your Gravitrax sets that you own on the personal set inventory sheet. I'll show you that in a second. Here's an overview of all four sheets. The track previews is the mobile device friendly sheet. It shows you tracks. User tracks is where all the tracks are stored, all the different app codes. Sets you own is where you keep your own Gravitrax inventory. And the set contents tells you what the contents are of each Gravitrax set, all the pieces. What's new gives you the version history. And what's new right here in version 2.0, we've added the 4 new upcoming Gravitrax releases that are being released in September 2021. The turntable, the Helix, the Advent calendar, and the Extreme Starter set. All those pieces are in here now. So let's go to set contents and check it out. So for example, on the left, we've got our Gravitrax starter sets. These are the big dogs. Then we've got the Gravitrax expansion sets. These are the smaller ones, typically around $25, maybe $30. Then we've got our little $10 Gravitrax accessories, the expansions, the extensions are called now. And so, for example, the new Extreme Starter set, let me highlight that here. It says a total of 196 pieces, but that's just because of the way that we're counting the pieces in the spreadsheet. But as you go across, you can see that the Extreme Starter set has 6 base plates. It has 2 large clear platforms, 2 small clear platforms, and then you can compare that to the other starter sets. For example, right here, you can see that some of the starter sets only have 4 base plates, some have 6. You can use this spreadsheet to inform your decisions of what you want to buy. For example, looking at the Vertical Pro starter set, you see that there's 8 columns and 4 tunnel columns. Well, guess what? If you come down here to the Vertical Pro expansion set, you can get the same number of columns for $25 instead of the $80. So, you can just look at all the pieces that are in all the sets. If you want some of these Bernoulli tracks, okay, here's the starter sets that have them: the Vertical Pro, the Speed, the Extreme, and the Light has not been released yet. I don't know if it ever will be. Here's some new pieces right here that are part of the Extreme, and I think the Advent calendar as well. We're not completely sure about that. We'll have to see once we get an unboxing of the Advent calendar. So it's got all the expansion parts here on the right, including the new ones, the turntable and the Helix, which come in the Extreme starter set. Going back to the left, we've got all the base tiles and inserts. We've got our tunnel pieces, switches, the new tiles, curved tiles. Then we got all our track pieces, track related pieces. We got our heights pieces, I call them. So that's our tiles, and then our Vertical Pro parts. We got our marbles, and then we got our platforms. These are all the contents of the sets. The only thing you can edit on this sheet is what the sets cost you. So you can kind of keep track of the cost by going to the sets you own and entering in the blue section here the quantity of these sets. So say you own 2 Vertical Pro starter sets and you own 1 Vertical Pro expansion and you own a bridges and you own a tunnel, let's say 2 tunnels, and oh, by the way, you bought a couple of spirals and a volcano. Oh, and we have to have a scoop. Everyone's favorite, the scoop. We bought 4 scoops. Okay, it's going to kind of tell you what you may have bought, paid for, but also the total pieces you own. It's going to total them up here. So, like with those 2 Vertical Pro starter sets and the 1 Vertical Pro expansion set, now it tells me I have 24 solid columns and 12 tunnel columns and so forth. So now I know all the pieces I own, and that comes in useful on the 3rd page, which is the user tracks. This is a list of a bunch of tracks that users have contributed, meaning they have put together app codes for the free Ravensburger Gravitrax app. I've entered them into here, stored them, and then typed in how many of each piece is required to build that particular track. If you have enough pieces to build that track, it's going to tell you, hey, you can build this track, or you may not have enough pieces. And it says you may not have enough pieces because sometimes you can do substitutions, right? If you want to launch one of these tracks, say, hey, this track looks pretty cool, I want to launch it. What you do is you go to launch track and hit the link, and it's going to automatically load that track into the Gravitrax app. Load track, it loads it, you click on it, there it is. You can run it, see what it looks like before you build it, and so forth. So that's pretty cool. And it doesn't do this through any invasive programming. It simply was a web link that you see it says redirecting you to, and there's a web address. That web address is what loaded the code there. So let me see if I can't get out of full screen mode here to close that and get back to the spreadsheet. Here we are. Also, if there is a view video link, you can actually view it. It'll either take you to Facebook or it'll take you to YouTube, depending on where the link was. And I'm looking for one that's on YouTube. Well, a lot of these are Facebook on the Gravitrax fans Facebook page. Here's one on YouTube. So it'll actually give you the link, and then you can go preview and see what that track looks like before you build it and see how it works. Sometimes you can't build a track exactly as you would in real life in the app. You may have to make substitutions, so the video can be helpful to help you figure out what you have to do. And that's a pretty cool trick right there. So that's what Gravasheet does for you. It has this large repository of all of these apps. And if you just want to see the ones you can build, go up here to Filters, and you have to click this link, Show All Tracks, or Show Only Tracks You Can Build. And then it'll just filter that list based on the ones that you can build based on what your inventory that was entered on the sets you own. Okay, so I'm going to show all tracks again. And just so you know, there's a couple of sections down below. One is Marble Computers. It's a series I've been doing on YouTube, building computers out of Gravitrax marble runs, starting with basic logic gates, digital logic, binary counting. It's great for homeschool kids or just anyone who wants to learn about digital logic and how computers work down at the basic level. Right now we're building some adding machines that can add binary numbers. A lot of fun. A couple other sections, infinity tracks, just tracks that will run forever in the app because the app tends to reset a lot of the extensions. And then the last one, Gravitrax tricks. There's a list of some trick videos that I've been putting together. Track previews is the same thing as the user tracks, but one at a time. This sheet was just put together to be mobile friendly because the user tracks has, as you can see, it has columns and rows that do not scroll. So that's really hard to navigate sometimes in a mobile app. So Track Previews gives you a large preview. You can select your track by this drop-down list, and then when you when you load it, it'll show it to you, show if you can build it. If there's a video, it'll give you the link for that. So that is the overview of Gravasheet. Again, we've got the set contents, tells you everything that's in all of the Gravitrax sets, including the new ones coming out in September 2021. Sets you own, tells you the total pieces and sets that you own after you enter that information here. User Tracks is a repository of Gravitrax app codes that you can use with the free Ravensburger Gravitrax app. Again, there is a small surcharge for the Vertical Pro portion of that app. It's only a couple of bucks, so it's well worth it. And the Track Previews, which is a little more mobile friendly, and it allows you to see just one track at a time. Again, in the instructions page, if you forget anything or want that overview. Okay, thank you for watching. Hopefully Gravasheet is helpful to you. There is a link to Gravasheet in the description of this video, and that link will not change. So as we add more app codes, keep going to that same link, and you can keep downloading the latest version, transfer your data over. In other words, copy this row from the set contents and from the sets you own, the blue rows, and then copy those over to the new spreadsheet. All right, thanks for watching.